Tonight from Irving MacArthur High School, it's a District 7 6A matchup as the Lady Cards of Mac play host to the Lady Vikings of Nimitz. Hello again, everybody. John Nelson along with Rob Willman. Mac comes in overall at 19-10. The Lady Vikings struggling this year at 1-12. Nimitz coming off a loss to DeSoto, 76-24. Mac also coming off of a loss to the #1 ranked team in the area, Duncanville. No shame there, 55-40. Mac comes in averaging 63 points a game. There you see the Lady Vikings on the right. And the Lady Cards will be introduced in just a few minutes. This is a doubleheader night. We'll have the boys game following this matchup. Susie O in year number 32. Here's a look at the Lady Vikings of Nimitz. It'll be Knight, Gomez, Wilson, Gonzalez, and Wills. Overall, a couple of seniors, a couple of juniors, 3 sophomores, and a freshman for Nimitz. Andrews, Newsom, Broussard, Jackson, and Francis, the starting 5 for Irving. Mac. Young at every position this year. Kind of a rebuilding season it is for the Lady Cards, but a win tonight gives them 20 overall. Mac at home this year with a nice record of 10-6. They come in hitting 42% from the field. And keep an eye on Sarah Andrews. We saw her as a freshman last year. Sarah landing 93 pointers so far this year. Comes in averaging 17 points a game and 7 assists. Nimitz led in scoring by Brittany Gonzalez, averaging 10. Coach O over 770 wins in year number 32. And there's Angie Evans in year number 2 at Nimitz. Angie has coached at Nimitz since 2009 and took over a couple of years ago with the untimely death of Pamela Owens. A win today would give the Lady Cards their 11th 21 season in the last 12 years. And this is a key game tonight in the standings. The Lady Cards could go 2 games up over South Grand Prairie with a win tonight. First of 2 meetings this year between the Lady Cards and the Lady Vikings. This is the middle part of January. The standings in District 7 6A, the undefeated Lady Panthers of Duncanville, DeSoto a game back, Cedar Hill 2 games back, and then kind of a logjam, a playoff scenario this week and next week between Mac and the Lady Warriors of South. A win tonight, and the Lady Cards could go to 5-4, and the district games winding down to the latter part of the last 3 weeks. We're just about set, ready for tip-off, and here's Rob Will.
All right, John, thank you very much. You take a look at the Lady Vikings there in the dark uniforms, or travel uniforms. MacArthur in their home uniforms of white, trimmed in gray and red. MacArthur, who, man, just by a whisker lost to Duncanville by a couple of points. Susie said, we just need 4 complete quarters, of course, when you play someone of the magnitude of the Lady Panthers. And she said she just doesn't know if it's just, middle part of the thing, you just have a lapse, or just don't understand the game totally in some respects. But she will always put a good team out there, and a team that's very competitive. And pretty much they should outmatch the Lady Vikings tonight. First shot on the way, and good by Carissa Jackson, the 6-foot sophomore. Her first 2 points of the game. And if you're familiar with a Lady Cardinal basketball team, they're going to pressure you from beginning to end, from back court to the front court, and that's what they're going to do here. Gonzalez is a very good ball handler. That's there, number 30. She had 9 points in our last ICTN game against the Irving Lady Tigers. No shot clock in high school ball, but you can't make turnovers if you're going to keep control of it. They don't there. A whistle and a foul, and Brianna Knight, the senior, will pick up the foul as she hacked Francis, trying to go coast to coast with the breakaway and the layup.
It was a nice save on the wing right there by Sarah Andrews, who keeps it in play, just bats it back towards the center of the court, and then the attempted layup by Francis.
First shot by Francis, in and out. Averages about, close to 7 points a ball game for the 5'10 junior. She's about 50% from the free throw line. And her second shot goes wide left, but the Cardinals hustle up as Andrews hustled up to get the steal. That's Andrews there at the top. They work inside. There's a little fadeaway, not there. Nice hustle, and that won't go in. And it's finally brought down by Tiara Wilson, the 5'3" freshman. Give it to Gonzalez, the shortest one on the court, but by far the best ball handler for Nimitz. And Nimitz on the attack for the first time tonight across the timeline, and now they will set up offensively. This is Wilson with the little runner, too hard. Gonzalez will pick it up as Andrews was not able to reel that one in defensively. Wilson, big size mismatch all across in this game tonight. Got to have crisp passes, and you got to make them count when you shoot. And that is Kendra Wills, number 34, that draws the foul. She will go to the free throw line.
And Wills off the double team, getting Jackson to commit in midair. Brianna Knight and Brittany Gonzalez, the 1-2 punch this year scoring-wise for the Lady Vikes, both averaging close to 10 points a game.
Wills gets the first free throw to fall. Averages about 4 points a game for the 5'6" senior. Second shot is missed, and Francis drags down the rebound. Across the timeline is Newsom. Work inside, uncontested and good is Jackson for her second basket of the night. And Jackson, who's a senior, I felt like we've seen her play, what, about 3 years in a row. I think she's been up at least since she's been a sophomore. There's a drive and a missed shot by Knight. She gets it back. Gonzalez works around a screen, had a little space there, but decided to pass that one up. Knight has nowhere to go. Rebounded by Wills in the corner, hits the side of the backboard. Wills gets it back, and then they lose it. Behind the back is Andrews, and she is fouled in the backcourt by Wilson, the 5'3" freshman. Boy, a lot of experience for Wilson. And her first year in the bigs, John, but that's just the nature of the beast for the Nimitz Lady Vikings, as they have a lot of youngsters out there.
Yeah, she's played in every game but one this year.
Talia Cooper about to check in for the Lady Cards. Could have been a walk. Is it a walk or a jump ball?
Reach in tie-up by Kendra Wills.
Whatever it is, it will be the Vikings ball. Checking out will be Newsom. And again, Cooper coming in for Susie's bunch. Love to trap. Got to make good passes if you're the opposition. Yeah, boy, that game, going to have another jump ball, possession it back the other way. That game against Duncanville, going toe-to-toe with the queens of the district.
Yeah, they had to match up against Zario Green, who was named a McDonald's All-American just the day before they played Duncanville last week.
Inside, nice pass. No foul. They just said it went out of bounds and was blocked by Knight. What a good job by Knight going up against Jackson, Carissa Jackson. Watch this again, John.
Yeah, 5'7", working against 6 feet.
Well, she got majority ball. Don't know if she got the arm or not. Turnover against the Cards. And Nimitz will get it back with 4:45 to go. Down by 3, another sub. Here comes Newsom back in. And who will check out? It will be Jackson. Susie runs them in quite frequently. And it's not just a same person replacing the one that replaced them. She'll juggle that lineup the best she can. Gonzalez to Gomez, and Gomez called for the turnover. Last time we had the Lady Vikings, Alexis, who you see there, number 12, was not playing. She was undergoing the concussion protocol. Had to miss a few games and finally got cleared to play. Evans said by far one of her more experienced players that she has on the court. Baseline move, pretty move, but missed by Broussard. Boy, good positioning, a little half hook there just couldn't buy the bucket. Gonzalez looking for someone, and she finds her teammate, drives the hoop, and Knight will draw the foul. You know, John, this is a type of game, if you go to the free throw line, you got to make them.
Yeah, you got to, and the first objective is to beat the press. Well, Nimitz has done it 3 times, but they've only taken 1 shot in the last 3 trips down. So first objective, beat the press, but you hate to give it up without taking a shot or a miss against Mac.
Knight with the first free throw. Jackson comes back in, and Francis will set down. Knight averaging about 10 points a game, 13 against the Lady Tigers. Last time we had him on ICTN. Misses the second. Nice hustle by Wilson. And Wilson gives Nimitz new life. Wilson baseline, stops, immediately blocked by Jackson. Height difference there. Here comes Andrews. She's quick. Nice move. 2 points for Andrews, who's pretty much this team, you know, kind of follows the long line of great guards that Susie has had in the past. And she's just a sophomore. 17 points a game, 34% from the field, almost 70% from the free throw line. Great quickness, and you get her out in the open like that, John, it's pretty much a given.
Not only can she score, one of the leaders in the district in handing out assists, averaging 7 assists a game, had 16 in the loss this past Tuesday night to Duncanville.
Cardinals trying to begin another streak as they did not make the playoffs and did not get 20 or more victories, which were city records last year, and trying to reestablish themselves. You know they're going to be interested here in a couple of weeks when the district realignment comes out.
That was almost an announcer's concussion protocol.
It was. I was giving you an assist. Wally telling us to grab. I said, I'm just going to give you the assist.
Announcer's concussion protocol.
Luckily, the bottles of water
were
covered. Yes, they were capped. Unlike my iced tea. I didn't see you make a move, Mr. Nelson.
Well, my bottle was capped, but the glasses were the main thing.
Missed shot by Knight. Andrews, baseline move, and missed by Cooper. The follow-up also missed, but a foul will be called. Is this a turnover? Here we go. It was tipped, and see?
There's the action, the right hand, the poke away.
It was it was just an assist. I was trying to give the assist.
Wasn't it here last year that there was major spillage right before the game? Not during the game, but right before the game.
You are correct. Right in front of this table again. Is there a bullseye here? Maybe so. Andrews from the corner misses everything. Wilson hustles to get the rebound, but she stepped on the end line, and the Lady Cards will regain possession.
First 3-point attempt tonight by Mac. Last year, they were a little bit better shooting the 3. They come in tonight right at 30%. Last year, they were close to 35% in 3-point shooting.
Well, the Lady Cards have outscored their opponent in every quarter this year. The fourth, however, as there's a missed shot by Jackson and picked up by Newsom. The fourth quarter, however, has almost been a push, giving up as much as they score. Nice feed. Wills called for the foul, and Melody Kapinga, the 6'3" senior, will go to the free throw line.
Tallest player on the court. One of 5 seniors on the varsity.
About 39% from the free throw line. Her first shot on the way and misses. Went everywhere but in.
Yeah, glass rim, hit the square again.
Second shot on the way and connects there. So the first time Lady Cardinal has made a free throw here in the first quarter. I wouldn't say that MacArthur's playing a little sloppy, but it's not their best at this motion, at this point of the game. Wilson little dip-de-doo. The thing is, if you can break through, John, with your dribbling, you still can't put the ball up because they're so much taller than you are.
And they're getting the second chance opportunities as well.
The freshman Newsom finishes off that fast break, and a quick timeout called by Evans. She has 3 players that she can pick from on the bench. One of those coming in now, number 10, Mendoza, the sophomore. Also for Susie Piper, Mackenzie Piper, the 5'10 junior, will check in at the 2:06 mark of quarter number 1.
Here's the sophomore in the middle of the break. She has her choice to go left or right. She gives the quick pass off to the left as Newsom finishes it off. Good floor leader for only a sophomore.
Only, yeah.
1 of 2.
You know, it seems like, John, if you're good, man, you know, by the time you're a freshman, you're good. You can always tell. Sure, they're going to get better, but 80% of the opponents they face, not as a team but individuals, they're better already.
Right. You hope it rubs off.
Yeah, as a freshman. Wills has it stolen. Bounce pass, Wills breaks that up. Nice hustle. Almost has it stolen, but gets it across the timeline. And then she does, gets it back. Bounce pass over to Mendoza. Mendoza to Gonzalez. There's the one that can handle the ball, and they're going to call a foul. Looks like Newsom, number 2, called for a push.
As a 3rd team foul assessed to Mac.
Mac had not given up a field goal here in the first quarter. Both points by Nimitz coming at the free throw line. Faulkner, number 41, is also checked in. So Faulkner and Mendoza, 2 of the subs seeing action here in the first quarter. Mendoza out to Gonzalez, and Andrews is on her. Mendoza has to pass the ball, and she does. That is Johnson, the 3rd player on the bench. Mendoza misses. Here comes Sarah. Sarah baseline, gets hacked as Cooper will go to the line. At first I thought maybe Cooper walked with it, but and this will be the 5th and 6th free throws by MacArthur here in the first quarter of play.
Foul is on Cooper, her 1st and the team's 5th.
Wilson will check in for Nimitz here after Talia makes her 2nd free throw. So Wilson's in, Faulkner's out. The thing about this pressure defense, John, is that it just wears on you after a while. I mean, they can break it after a quarter or 2, but man, by the 3rd quarter and early 4th quarter, especially if you only have a couple players you can bring into sub, you know it's got to wear them down after a while.
And then the classic trap on the wing. Here it is.
And it's stolen away. Piper to Cooper, missed. Wilson gets the rebound, and she is fouled. I believe that was against Mackenzie Piper, number 12.
It is her 1st. Couldn't hold up over the top.
And we're into 40 seconds left in the first quarter. There'll be a warning against Francis, I think, going across the end line. In a sub.
Straight up, not over.
Nope. Simmons checks in. Cooper
Damian
checks in.
Simmons.
Nimitz having a hard time getting that ball in play. They finally do. Mendoza over the line. She's pretty much triple teamed and loses control. Andrews fakes the bomb and pushes up the court. Through the legs a couple of times. Finds a wide open player, Francis, and you know, with Andrews running the game, you better keep your head on a swivel. She's going to throw it to you if she thinks you're open. Francis couldn't handle. Wilson double teamed, lost control. And I think they're going to get Piper with her second foul. Yes. .12.5 seconds to go here. Quarter number 1. This is a doubleheader. We'll have the boys game next on ICTN. First time we'll see the Cardinal boys this year. Never know what kind of team Toby's going to have, but it's usually a competitive one. Wilson misses, as the sound reminds us the first quarter is history. Tough start for the Lady Vikings. Cardinals up 11-2. Back with the second quarter in a moment. So the Cardinals looking to go 5-4 in this district season, battling that last playoff spot between them and South Grand Prairie. Got a game with the Warriors coming up. Win that one, you're pretty good shape to make postseason. I mean, those top 3 spots are pretty much solidified with Duncanville, DeSoto, and Cedar Hill. Lady Gophers yet to win a game, and Nimitz with only 1 win. And that was against the Gophers. So it's been a tough year for Coach Evans. All the players that came back from last year really didn't have their heart in it and pretty much just quit on her. And so she said that was fine. And now she's got, what, like 3 sophomores and a freshman out there trying to learn the game. And you're playing against one of the better programs in the area. Cooper with the missed shot. Follow-up. Count it. As Jackson, playing really well tonight underneath the glass, makes that one and will go for the 3-point play.
They got the 2 tall girls inside, Broussard and Jackson. Jackson second, and finishes it off with the basket and 1. Team foul number 6 assessed to the Lady Vikings, and that is the 3rd on Brianna Knight.
Yeah, and she comes out and Faulkner will come in. Knight and Gonzalez pretty much do all the scoring, and so one of your scorers is out, you know it's going to be a tough night. Jackson, he hits about half her shots throughout the year. Had a chance for the 3-point play and misses. She does have 6 points, almost half the points of her team here. And there is the first basket of the ball game. Wilson gets that one for the Lady Vikings with nice little move to the basket. Showed some speed and gets the layup to fall. So it took them a quarter and about a minute to get a field goal, but they got one. And you know they have to play a zone pretty much, as Jackson will go to the line again. They've got to sag in, John, because Cardinals are so good and so tall.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, you can't match up with them one-on-one, so the zone is your only other option.
Jackson makes that. 1 more to follow. Francis back in. You got Francis, that's 5'10". You got Jackson, that's 6 foot. You've got Broussard, that's 5'11". Mr. Second, there's that rebound by Francis. The putback, not there. Andrews trying to make a nice move at the end to get the offensive boards, couldn't handle it. And Wills will inbound for the Lady Vikings.
Well, Francis had the shot, just missed it, and coming off a 7-point game earlier this week.
Gomez double teamed on the inbound pass. Wills trying to find an opening. Faulkner finds Gonzalez. Gonzalez can dribble, but she has got to keep moving, because if she stops, next thing you know, you've got 2 much taller players on top of her. Wilson, a little half-hearted shot, but you know what? She drew the foul, and that's going to put her at the free throw line. The foul's going to be called on Broussard, yeah. Yeah,
apparently not set long enough, and a chance for a couple of points here at the free throw line for Wilson, hitting only 35% of her free throws.
This is the first. Yeah, she was 4 out of 11 against Irving. had some opportunities there. She'll get one more. You know, Broussard, we talk about her, she's been averaging 14 points a game. Hadn't scored yet. But that's Susie's team is so deep. You know, she's got so many girls she can pick from off the bench and play. And if one's not having a good game, she can pretty much shift things around. You got Andrews, you know, you can pretty much count on her.
Right.
Jackson's having a field day tonight just by posting up and taking advantage of the size. What, 9 points now here in the first half. There's another steal. Cooper's going to draw the foul, and she will go to the free throw line. Cooper averaging about 55 points, or excuse me, 55% from the free throw line.
And for Tiara Wilson, that is her third.
And remember, there's not a lot of players on the bench for Coach Evans and Nimitz High. Cooper misses the front end of 2. She has 3 players to choose from. She might have to use every last one of them before tonight's over. Second shot good, 3 out of 4 now for the senior. Fast break, Johnson who's now in. Johnson 2-on-1, has nowhere to go. They go to Mendoza. She misses the wide open shot. Good play by Johnson to keep it alive. 3-pointer good by Gonzalez. The 4'11" sophomore hits the 3-pointer, and it's a 10-point MacArthur lead.
Leads the team in threes. That is her 57th of the year.
Jackson missed the wide open, but there was Francis with the follow-through. Angelique's first field goal of the night. Even though she hasn't scored a lot of points, she has been very active in the paint, making it tough on Nimitz to try to get something going inside. There's another one by Gonzalez. That's an air ball. Did it go off the hands of Jackson? I think so. I think Nimitz is going to go back to play defense, but yeah, that went off the hands of Jackson. That's Johnson there coming in. And they have Mendoza and Faulkner and Gomez. Bounce pass inside to Wills, just stripped right away by Kapinga. Andrews, kind of quiet. I mean, we've seen her with some free throws and such, but really hadn't overtaken the game yet. 3-pointer missed. Kapinga with the rebound. Tipped around by Wills, picked up by Cooper. Cooper a little off balance. Jackson with the hook, not there. Kapinga gets the rebound. That rolls around.
5 chances now.
Cooper goes again. We'll get a whistle. Maybe Faulkner going to be tagged with the foul. And Cooper goes to the free throw line. Everybody had a chance but John.
They did. They passed it around. 5 opportunities there after the initial first miss.
Cooper already at the free throw line 4 times tonight. Misses the first, and I think Susie wants to take a timeout. We call that a coaching opportunity.
Well, it's a chance to discuss maybe a little technique. Leading by 12, led 11-2 at the end of the quarter. As far as the fouls, the Lady Vikings have committed 9. So the double bonus looms not that far away for the Lady Cards, as head coach Angie Evans just really giving it to her squad.
You've got, in this district, you know, you've got so many good teams. Look at the Dallas Morning News 6A poll, 1, 3, and 4 in this district. Hey, and let's count Skyline, because they were in this district at one time.
They were, yeah. They played non-district games in the past against Richardson.
Richardson at 7. Richardson kind of an old school, you know, kind of like an Arlington High, a Grand Prairie High type. But they've made some inroads in basketball the last few years.
We saw them in the playoffs a couple of years ago. The boys we did.
Right. So almost through the halfway point of quarter number 2. Lady Cards in the double bonus.
The breakout quarter this year for the Lady Cards has been the second and the third. As you mentioned, the scoring differential in the first quarter this year.
Andrews left wide open. Kapinga is there. A bounce on the floor and a whistle. The officials did not take my request.
Turned a deaf ear in this direction.
I told them to throw their whistle away for this game.
Well, 2 of the 3 smiled.
We didn't get a buy-in for all 3, though, did we?
No.
That is missed. Kapinga now her 4th chance at the free throw. Again, she shoots about 40%. And missed them both. Gonzalez yelling for help from her teammates. They break the press. Mendoza to Gomez. Bounce pass into Wills. Thought might have seen a kick ball there, but we didn't. Our 3rd jump ball in the first half. It's possession arrow MacArthur. Newsom comes back in, the freshman, 5'8". Look, see, she kicked it, right? Am I seeing things?
No, you weren't.
Okay. Susie asking her players to pick up the pace a little bit. Andrews, not enough there. Gonzalez, no surprise, finds herself with the much taller players all around her. Newsom picked it up, but she stepped on the sideline.
Working on Mendoza at the side.
It's like there's an extra player for MacArthur out there. You look up and there's, every time, whoever has the ball, there's 2 people around them.
And especially on defense, as Simmons comes back in, the little senior at 5'2".
Nimitz not quite sure who they want to throw the inbound, and that'll be Mendoza. And now a rare moment, that the Lady Cards kind of pull back a little bit. Wills, who will dribble the ball, you will see her out at the top of the point quite often in a high post, a really high post area. Gomez, no one to throw it to. Wills working against Piper. Susie now in the man-to-man defense. We haven't seen that. Straight up man-to-man. Gonzalez with Piper in her face. Player was open. Mendoza didn't want to take the shot. Faulkner is now in. Player hits the floor very hard. Hey, she's down, take the shot.
That's Newsom is hurt.
Gonzalez for 3, and she gets it.
Her second 3, and on the year, 58 that she has sunk.
Kishiro, number 25, checking in for the first time tonight. 5'8" senior. I mean, that's what you've got to do if you're Nimitz. You've got to hit your jump shots. But it's such a task to find just enough space to put up the jump shot. Nimitz in a zone. 2-on-2. Gonzalez, she kind of kicked her leg out there a little bit. And there is a shot by Kishiro. And boy, she comes right off the bench, doesn't take her long, touches the ball, boom, scores 2. 11-point lead for the Cards as we work our way down to halftime. Give the Lady Vikings credit for breaking that press, but that's about as far as it gets. There's a wide open shot and missed by Gomez. Again, Gomez back in the lineup. Haven't seen her in a while. The fast break lost by Simmons, and then a foul afterwards.
Well, Andrews fed her. Simmons wide open underneath and just hurried the shot.
Piper's going to come back in. Once everything's said and done, they're going to go the other way since both teams are in the bonus. Any foul that's called, there's going to be somebody sent to the free throw line. And this time it's Mendoza, the 5'3" sophomore. Got hacked after getting the defensive rebound. And she'll be shooting the 1-and-1. First is true. Second shot. And missed. She doesn't take a lot of shots. For the year from the field, she's like 40-something%. Shot is missed, and there's the offensive rebound by Piper. That'll put Piper to the line, looking for a three-point play, John.
I'd like to know how many offensive boards the Lady Cards have in this first half. I mean, they
bunches.
Just beat you to death with these second chance opportunities.
Bunches. I know that's vague, but bunches. Piper looking for one more and can't get it.
A triple team.
And a jump ball, and this will be the Vikings' opportunity. Got Cooper, Piper, Kishiro in there, Simmons in there. All the substitutes except for Andrews, and she's still in there. Boy, somehow Johnson worked her way free and, worked hard for that shot, couldn't get it to fall. Here's Andrews. The lefty, great ball handler. Piper left alone on the baseline. Put back up by Andrews, no. Mendoza gives it over to Gonzalez with about a half a minute to go before the break. Cooper guarding Gonzalez. So there's a nice give and go, and well done by Mendoza.
Faulkner on the assist. Nice pass.
Yeah.
Mendoza.
Less than 10 seconds be the last shot by the Cards. The feed, Piper, and Piper scores. And that'll do it for a half of ladies basketball. It's the home team up 25-13. We'll take a break, come back with the second half in a moment.
Lady Cards leading by a dozen as we get set to play half number 2 here at Irving MacArthur. The Lady Cards opened up a lead of 11-2 as we take a look at some of the highlights. Getting on the board, Tiara Wilson with a drive inside. She finished with 2 points in the first half, and then a couple of rainbow threes from Brittany Gonzalez. There's one, and here's the other from the left elbow. Gonzalez finished with 6 points in the first half. And for the Lady Cards, who opened up a 7-2 lead, waiting is Sarah Andrews. There's her only 2 points from the field, but Andrews not only runs the floor, but also able to find her teammates. In this case, it's Newsom on her left as she finishes off. And then inside, you'll see the move by Francis following the missed shot of Carissa Jackson as Francis scored her only 2 points from the field. Brittany Gonzalez leading the Lady Vikings in scoring with 6. And for the Lady Cards, it's Carissa Jackson with 9. Second half is underway in his raw.
All right, John, and we pick things up, and Right on the baseline, they go to work. Francis now with 4 points. Left all along, and I wonder why they didn't try to do that more often in the first half. We talked about this during the break, how despite looking like a total domination by MacArthur, how Nimitz was only down by 12 despite all the pressure in the backcourt and the turnovers. Back in is Brianna Knight, number 2. She has 3 fouls. Didn't get to play much in the first half. Here comes Cooper on the fast break. Misses. Kept in play by Francis, but Cooper was on the end line at the time, and so it's going to be the Lady Vikings ball, and Cooper will go down, and Newsom will come up and take over for her as one of the 5 out there defensively at this point for MacArthur. Gonzalez over to Wilson here. Almost thrown away, but picked up by Gomez, and last touch by Knight, who just kind of smirks and says, ugh, one of those nights. Get it? One of those nights?
It's a tough day.
Uh-huh.
I thought you were going to say a pay the piper play.
I was saving that, John. Thanks. Jackson loses control. And back come the Lady Vikings. Gonzalez from way downtown doesn't even get close on this one. And Broussard, who we talk about quiet nights tonight. Broussard yet to score. Andrews only 2 points. That's not what you usually think of when you think of the Lady Cardinals with their scoring punch.
Yeah, Broussard comes in. She has the best percentage from the field at 56% on the year.
Francis threw that away. Knight with a nifty little layup. Her first field goal of the night. I thought that was, she just threw up a prayer. If she did, it was answered. A nice little move with the left hand. Got it around the defender. And it stays a 12-point MacArthur lead here in the third quarter. Andrews left wide open. Instead, they go inside to Broussard, who misses a really close putback. That is made by number 2, Jordan Newsom. She now has 4 points for the 5'8" freshman.
Matches the biggest lead at 14 now.
In the corner, Knight, baseline move, double teamed. Wills kicks it out, and Andrews is there. Not only does she steal it, she retrieves it. And there's some athleticism right there, John.
Yeah, able to get away from Gonzalez at midcourt.
Tipped the ball in the air and then outran the defender to get to the ball. And this third quarter could really open things up for the Redbirds. Wills bounce. Knight, right side, drives, and can't get it to fall. Was a good move. Andrews has that one off the leg, I think, of Wills. Gonzalez is like, I cannot go with those big people there, so I'll just hit it off the glass. Thank you very much. And a rare sighting, a 2-pointer.
Yeah, she'll slow it up and then
bank
hit
it
the
off
2 just inside the 3-point strike.
Bank it off the glass. Broussard over on the wing, inside to Francis, back to Broussard. A little soft jumper, missed. Gonzalez rebounds and works around Piper. Boys game to follow here on ICTN. Always a fun matchup with the crosstown rivals. Little quick release and score by Gomez. Her first basket for the 5'4" junior. Back to that 12-point cushion for the Cardinals. Way out in the corner, nothing but net for Andrews.
First team 3-pointer poured in by the Lady Cards, who now lead by 15. In fact, they've had it pretty much their way, Rob, since 2004, since the Bush administration. They have won 24 straight. As we take a look at the 3, wasting no time is a sophomore who came in averaging 17 points, but the Lady Cards have won 24 in a row over the Lady Vikings and 24 of the last 26. Won both games last year, 54-28 and 49-40. In fact, I did a little crunching of the numbers as you see the results since 2011. And since that point, from 2011 and 2012, the average score has been 67-30 Lady Cards. That much of a lopsided edge.
Ironically, the year that Nimitz won back in 04-05, they won both games. Not just one fluke, they won both games, 61-53 and 50-36 against Mac, as Coach Evans has her work cut out for her. That last time out by Coach Evans, I think it was more or less the fact that Andrews had such a wide open shot is probably what made her mad or concerned about her team's focus. Not that the girl made the shot, because she's going to make her shots eventually, but there was just no one there to get in her face and make her earn the 2 points. Gonzalez working behind some screens by Gomez. Mendoza at the top to her right, but they go to Knight instead. Knight has no one. Finally, Mendoza comes over to help. And that is Gonzalez at the top of the key. Well, just being patient. You can be patient, just don't throw it away. Wills working against Kapinga. Not a bad looking shot, didn't fall though. Here comes Broussard. And around they work it. Piper going to be calling for the travel.
Well, I guess that kind of evened it out. Nimitz held the ball for 45 seconds. They got the shot but missed, but then the Lady Card turned it right back over.
Return the favor, if you will.
There's Newsom with 4 points. She'll guard Brittany Gonzalez at only 4 feet 11 inches.
Looking for an opening. And we're going to have a foul called. Is that against Broussard? Yes, number 4. Taylor, 5-11. 4 fouls on Broussard. She will come out. Francis will go back in. And Mendoza kind of got slapped across the face on that foul. Is looking at her coach rubbing her cheek. Nimitz, they do a lot of screening up top on the high area around the circle, trying to free the guards. MacArthur just reacts so quickly. Wills faked one way, went the other. Kind of a little off balance. Ball goes right into the hands of the streaking Newsom.
Off with a tip.
Had Gonzalez, all 4'11" of her. Still got a hand on the ball, but it went right in Newsom's hands, and good concentration. Gonzalez thought about it. Well, she's going to take it anyway.
Nobody underneath for the rebound.
It's like, try, okay, rebound or get back.
Yeah.
Rebound or get back.
Now Andrews, here's the lead pass, the tip, in one motion, catches it and finishes it off. That last foul was assessed to Kendra Wills, and that is her 4th.
Cooper will shoot 2, missed that.
Did not shoot well at all in the first half, Rob. Only 5 of 16 from the charity stripe.
Well, no sooner had you talked about Wills having the 4 personal fouls. Faulkner will come in for her. And Cooper gets 1 out of 2 from the free throw line. Like you said, she spent more time at the free throw line than anyone in that first half. Faulkner threw it away. Knight able to chase it down. There's another long range shot by Gonzalez.
Got a good stroke, her 3rd 3.
Yep. MacArthur tries to answer and missed by Cooper. Rebound, Francis, and good.
Well, I keep bringing it up. Offensive rebounds. You know, in football, you have the yards after contact stat, yak. Just a ton of offensive rebounds tonight for the Lady Cards.
How about hurries, knockdown, sacks?
Yeah, there's a lot of them that come into play.
Football, in fact, is, you know, not quite like baseball, but boy, they've really seemed to add a lot of stats in the last few years.
Half of them, you're just doing your job as a player. That's what you're supposed to do.
Let's see if Nimitz will try to wind this down to the end if they can keep control of it. Faulkner loses control. In a spin, a move, no foul called as Newsom tried to take it to the hoop, and that's good news because Knight, who's playing with 3 personal fouls, that could have been her 4th. Lady Vikings pretty thin on the roster, only 3 subs. A lot of those with personal fouls, and the ball's knocked away nicely by Gomez as Andrews is trying to get in position to shoot. But hey, 6 seconds, they could inbound, give it back to Andrews, and she could shoot. Just like that. And to rub salt in the wounds, she is fouled on the 3-point shot, so she will go to the line to shoot 3 with 2.5 seconds to go.
Just couldn't hold up. And that is the first foul on Alexis Gomez, number 12. But 3 chances here at the stripe.
And she's a close to 70% free throw shooter. And if that one even hit the rim. Not a lot of time for Nimitz to react here. Andrews sinks all 3. And Gonzalez can just heave it. Good effort. But the Lady Cardinals stretch the wings a little bit, expand the lead. It's now 20. We finished 3, headed for 4. Back in a moment. Well, we've got a quarter to go, and the Cardinals might open it up a little bit more. If you recall back in the first quarter, we talked about how the pressure defense of MacArthur will wear on you. And we'll see if MacArthur finally has Nimitz so tired they just break it wide open. Broussard is in there with 4 personal fouls. Jackson, who rested a lot there in the 3rd quarter, is going to start here to start the 4th quarter.
And again, a win tonight for the Lady Cards could give them a 2-game edge over South. They'll play each other next week.
Broussard with Knight breathing down her back, misses, and then they're on the end line when she tries to put it back in play. Francis will come in and Jackson will sit down. I don't know, John. It doesn't look like maybe the Cardinals are that sharp tonight.
Yeah, especially Broussard and some of the plays on the edge.
We knew going in that they had far more talent than Nimitz would. But we haven't seen that stretch, at least in 3 quarters, where the Cardinals put 4 or 6 points in a row together where it opens up. It's out of bounds as Andrews tried to knock that out of bounds.
Outscored Nimitz 17-9 in that third quarter.
Johnson will come in for Nimitz, but Susie wants a time. She came down here to the official scorebook, said, how many timeouts do I have? And she had 1 full and 2 30s, and she's taking a full right now. Maybe she's thinking the same thing we thought, that just doesn't have the right combination of players out there. Just not working right. You got to know, you're only human. You come in and you face someone, like Nimitz, who's outmanned, outgunned in this game. And, as a student, you probably come in going, we got this in the bag. You really just don't give a lot of effort.
Right. She's played 10 tonight. We've seen Cachero and Simmons off of the bench, as well as Piper. They came in averaging 63 a game. They give up 48. And at the moment, they lead by 20.
Yeah, Broussard, no points. She averages 14. Andrews is picking it up a little bit. Second horn, that means we're through with the radio television timeout.
Only one more to go.
Yeah.
In the quarter.
So Broussard stays in there along with Francis. Piper's in there. Also Cooper and Andrews. And that is Cooper there that feeds to Andrews, who forced it a little bit on the layup. Ball loose and a jump ball, and I believe it's Nimitz's opportunity.
One's not going to give it up. The other one trying to take it away.
I remember watching like YMCA ball and stuff. They'd have like a jump ball every 30 seconds.
Yeah, any particular place on the court
was subject to a tie ball. Knight, with limited playing time tonight, got herself in foul trouble early. Forced that one over McKenzie's arms. Fast break. Broussard too far underneath the glass. Ball is loose in the paint. Who wants it? And we're going to have a travel by someone, probably Nimitz. Mendoza caught with the travel. Mendoza scored 3 in the first half, nothing here in the second. Wilson had a basket in the first half, none in the second. Cooper, Andrews with the head fake. Good ball movement. Francis. At first she was trying to wrestle that away, and then she opted to retrieve and not get the foul called on her.
Brianna Knight just took it away, number 2.
Oh, nice little give and go. And a score by Gomez.
And it stays in. It almost came out of the cylinder at Gomez's 4th point.
The lead is 18, pretty much in MacArthur's wheelhouse. And there's Cooper with a tray. Talia logging a lot of minutes here in this one for Susie and company. Plays the point a lot. Andrews is like in the shooting guard. They'll switch off. And some more changes.
Well, they've got 14 points off of the bench tonight, and here comes Simmons and 2 others.
Kapinga, one of those. Susie was telling us even though she's got players that are juniors and on her team, a lot of these players that she has, they didn't start playing basketball till 8th grade.
Oh, you're right. Francis and Piper, those 2.
And in today's world, that's like cue the gasp,
It is.
Jackson and Kapinga both missed opportunities.
Now Wills is back in there, number 34, playing with 4 fouls.
Yeah, why not? With close to 4 minutes to go, what do you got to lose? You're down by nearly 20. You've got to get something going offensively. Mendoza to Gonzalez, almost lost the handle. Pulls back for another three.
Her fourth.
Nice little shot by Gonzalez. Ball is loose, bodies fly. And when the dust settles, it will be a foul against Nimitz.
Well, here's Brittany. She has half of the team's point total. That is her 14th point and her 60th three-pointer on the year.
That was from O'Connor.
It was deep.
Andrews looking for someone to toss it to, and gets the outlet pass to Newsom, who's back in. Newsom now running the point where Cooper had been. Tried to get it to Broussard. So some fresh faces at the 4-minute mark. We'll see how long that lasts, and Cooper's off the bench just like that. Gonzalez has a pivot and can't move it. Oh, wide open here in the corner, and missed was Johnson. Wills with the offensive rebound. Travel? Yes. Called against Simmons.
Trying to get away from Mendoza in the corner.
So Newsom sits down. Newsom, who, 6 points tonight? Freshman. One of Susie's underclassmen. Andrews, a sophomore. You also got Butler, Heaven Butler. We haven't seen her tonight. And just a nice handful of juniors also sprinkled into that roster. Just think next year they might not have to play DeSoto and Duncanville.
Possibility.
Cooper called for push. Cooper's thought she played great D. She's looking at her coach with a smile on her face like, hey, I did a great job. And they said, no, you forced her over.
Picks up her first foul, the team's second.
There's what you got to do to inbound. As soon as you get the ball, throw it. Don't give MacArthur time to collapse. Will's way out top. Nimitz just weaving around. Wills, she'll try to hook shot it if she can. That's kind of her, if you notice, she always goes to her right when she backs in. If you're a defender, you play that side, force her to the left. Might get her off guard. Mendoza will inbound. Looking at Mendoza's point of view. Wills has it blocked. Has it blocked again. And then to make it hurt even more, she takes a tumble on the floor.
That's a quick whistle to tie up by Knight.
$18-point lead. With 3 bells left to go. Don't forget, boys are next.
Lady Cards are going to go to 5-4 and pick up their 20th win of the season tonight.
Yep. That will be the 11th 20-win season in the last 12 years.
And we'll see them again in a couple of weeks against Irving.
Against the Lady Tigers. A loop-de-loo there. Just put a little bit too much on it. Mackenzie Piper.
Even the official has a smile on her face to the near side.
I have a little confusion on who touched it last. I think Nimitz thought it was MacArthur and vice versa. Quick little inbound pass. Set up well, just didn't work. Behind the back to the point. I wonder if Gonzalez ever gets tired.
Yeah, well, she's a dynamite player. If she is tired, she doesn't show it, any kind of fatigue at all.
Mendoza, I don't think was expecting that pass from Kendra Wills.
We got Kishiro in, number 25, Rashida.
Yeah, she came in there, second quarter late, right before the half, played about 2 minutes. And they just work around the horn. No hurry. Don't have to be. Got another win in their back pocket.
Nimitz going to fall to 1-8 in the district.
Spin, turn, missed. Wills rebound, jump ball, possession arrow says we're going to go Nimitz's way. With a minute 28.
Well, you're hoping that the Lady Vikes can get in the 30s. It would just cosmetically look so much better to have that 30 on the board.
Andrew says not so fast, and then maybe, yes, not so fast. Picked her pocket, then lost it. Like she had a hole in her pocket.
I tried to save it and ran out of room on the baseline.
Lady Cards will host South Grand Prairie next week. Mac won that first one over in Warrior Land, 49-45. So expect another close. I don't know. I'd have to expect Susie Hopes maybe to get a little more cohesiveness out of this group for that game than what they've shown here. And she draws up the play.
Game number 30 overall for Mac this year. And they will now have won the last 25 against their crosstown rival.
We talked about Jackson getting off to such a good start for the Lady Cards as Evans is talking to her ladies. Francis has had a good game as well. As you look at Broussard there, Broussard 44 blocks, 58 steals coming into tonight's game. That's quite incredible.
She'll be back next year. Andrews has 2 more years.
Gonna miss out on Jackson losing that height.
And Kapinga also.
Yep, she's a senior.
6'3".
A couple of rebounders there that she'll desperately miss. I think Johnson got away with a moving screen there. The officials just kind of let it go. Gonzalez, another.
There's a 30th point.
Her 5th three-pointer of the night. And none of those have been gimme. Those have been perfect shots.
Oh,
all
they have
5.
just a nice stroke. Well, doesn't that look better 45-30 than
to be
in the 20s?
Absolutely. Cooper for 3. Baseline move by Piper, and McKenzie will go to the free throw line.
That is her 4th, a foul assist to Brianna Knight.
You know, John, in the second half, the Lady Vikings have not gone to the free throw line at all.
Only had 8 opportunities in the first half.
One more shot on the way for Piper. Kishiro giving chase. I think she was the last to touch as Brianna Knight was in the vicinity. Mendoza will inbound with half a minute. Johnson picks up the dribble. That you can't pick up the dribble. You better have someone to pass it to. That's when you get in trouble. That's Gonzalez. She'll keep dribbling. She'll keep dribbling until she can find someone to throw to. See, she keeps going. Then she finds the open player and passes. Feeds inside. Knight. Nifty play. And that's how it's going to end. So, believe it or not, the Cardinals scored just 4 points in that fourth quarter, John. We're outscored at 10-4, and Susie already said that fourth quarter is not their friend.
Yeah, it's been the second and third quarter this year.
Right. But the bottom line is that the Lady Cards win another. It keeps them in sole possession of 4th place and puts them in line to make postseason for another time. So the final, MacArthur wins it 46-32. We'll have the stats and highlights in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. Just moments away from the Nimitz Vikings taking on the MacArthur Cardinal boys in the second game of this doubleheader. We have just put the wraps on the girls' game where MacArthur wins 46-32. A look at some of the highlights. Well, Brittany Gonzalez had a heck of a game for the Lady Vikings. One of the few 2-pointers for her, in fact. Most of them were 3-pointers, but kisses that one off the glass. And then Knight going coast to coast using the left hand. Gets 2 points there, and there's Brittany again. Looky there. 5 3-pointers on the night, a bright spot for Nimitz. Meanwhile, for MacArthur, just too many weapons. That's Francis underneath. Between her and Jackson, they really took charge on the baseline, and also Andrews with the steal, a pretty steal, and goes coast to coast. And then also Cooper with the miss, but there's Francis inside. Again, this dominating play inside by the big tall post players for Susie and gang for the Lady Cardinals. Scoring, Gonzalez had the 17. Knight, who played in foul trouble and missed a lot of the second quarter. Gomez, Mendoza, Wilson, and Kendra Wills rounding out the scoring for Nimitz. For MacArthur, a quiet night by her standards. Sarah Andrews with just 10 points. Jackson with 9, got most of those in the first quarter. Cooper with 7, Newsom with 6, Francis with 6, Piper 5, Kashiro a bucket, and Kapinga with 1 free throw. And one that's glaringly missing there is Taylor Broussard, the 5'11 junior, did not score a point in that ball game, yet just too many weapons for MacArthur as they win that one over their rivals, 46-32. As we take a look there of the introductions before the boys' games between Nimitz and MacArthur. Let's go ahead and take a look at those starting lineups, and we'll start for the visitors in Joel Donaldson's group, and that'll be Dejon Wilson playing a guard. Davion Hopkins, the other guard. We got Justin Sherman, who got off to a good start against Irving last time out. Ecke, the center of the post, and Johnson, the other guard, number 22. For Toby Martin and his group, Tyson Harden will start at forward. Iniquez, one of the guards. P.J. Ross, Carius Key, who Coach Martin believes, no pun intended, but is the key to this team because he does have the talent at 6'2". And then Blake Burris, the sophomore, at 6'5", doing the post. Coach Martin told us earlier, John, that he's got talented kids, but they've been sick. He doesn't know how well they will perform, and it's been a rough year, but he's got some young ones. Who's going to win this one? Mr. Nelson with the call.
All right, Rob. Destin Ecke wins the tap and sends it ahead to Dejon Wilson as the Nimitz Vikings working right to left here in the first half. Nimitz coming off of a loss to DeSoto earlier this week, 58-46. Our second look at the Vikes. Lost a heartbreaker 2 weeks ago in the final 7 seconds to Irving High. Here's a block shot. Getting a finger on it was P.J. Ross, but the Vikings get it right back. 3 seniors, a junior, and a sophomore, the starting 5 tonight for Nimitz. There's a missed shot, and first rebound, Blake Burris reels it in at 6'5" of the sophomore. Carius Key, number 5, comes in averaging 18 points a game. Here's a drive contact on the drive by Nick Eganis, 5'9" junior. And we'll go to the line here just 47 seconds into the contest.
Devin Johnson called for the reach-in.
Nick Iniguez, 5'9" junior, and it's a 1-0 Cardinal lead.
Uncharacteristic for a MacArthur team, coming in only just 1-5 in district play.
3-6 at home this year. Look from underneath. And the miss and the offensive rebound. And another chance for the Cardinals. Burris wheels, gives to Key. Tries one from 23 and bottoms it out. Carius Key coming off a 12-point game. And a 4-0 lead for the Cards.
Well, they left him alone, John. He had enough time to think about it and square up and bang one home.
Underneath to Eki, and Destin getting the feed from Davian Hopkins. Eki averaging 15 points and 10 boards a game. Drive, reverse layup, and it goes in.
Carius Key. Yep. I got an idea. We may be calling his name out a lot tonight.
6'2" junior, again averaging 18 points a game. Right side, Dejon Wilson. Wilson averaging 7. But Eki leads all scores for the Vikings at 15 points a contest. Poured in 22 in the game you saw a couple of weeks ago against Irving. The missed shot on the wing, underneath, Burris with a rebound. Lead pass, pulling it out, three-pointer in there. P.J. Ross, he had 7 3-pointers a couple of weeks ago in a district game, with a sophomore gives the Cards a lead of 7. Burris trying to save it, double pump, Eki off the square.
Eki so strong underneath the glass. You got to block him out.
On the other end, Nicky Negus. Lead at 7. Bounce pass up top to Sherman. Justice Sherman working on P.J. Ross. Ross going for the key, going for the steal. Sherman bounce pass underneath and walloped over the top as Burris got all of Dejon Wilson.
Wilson, the ball, the court.
And Dejon Wilson at the stripe, a 5'9" sophomore, averaging 7 points a contest, and the lefty able to land the first of 2. He's coming off a 10-point game with a loss to DeSoto earlier this week. Cardinals coming off a loss to Duncanville, 73-34. And here's the follow-up. And an easy rebound for Burris. They double-team Key. On the floor, it is loose. The reach in, the tie up. And I believe the Cards will maintain possession. They will.
Boy, we saw half a dozen of those in the game before this one. Continuing the trend.
Inigas to play it in. Here's Key. Burris, right side. In trouble is Ross. Taken away. Johnson underneath, the drive and the leg whip and the block as well on Burris. That is his second, working on number 2, Davian Hopkins.
Well, that's going to prompt Martin to bring Maurice Young, the 6'3" sophomore, up off the bench, and Burris, 6'5", by far the tallest out there, will have to sit down.
Young, one of 4 sophomores for Toby Martin this year on the varsity. A 6-point Cardinal lead.
Only 2 seniors on this team.
The deep pass caught waist high by Johnson. Sends it cross court to Hopkins. And back to the middleman, Justin Sherman. 11-5, Cardinals on top. Sherman with a drive, stops. Again, feeds the right side, nothing there. As Sherman gives it up to Eki. Eki whirls, shoots, and misses over Iguinness. Gets the rebound, kicked out of bounds and off of MacArthur.
Well, the thing about Eki, wherever he goes, someone's going to shadow him.
He does draw a crowd. 3-pointer on the way. It's woefully short. Called underneath by Wilson. Taken away by Young. Here's Key. Right side, Iguinness. He will shoot from 14. It rims out. Harden gets the rebound. The wide receiver off of the football team, Tyson Harden, and the foul. We're halfway through the opening quarter. And off the bench, Nyron Collins, number 3. That foul assists to DeJon Wilson, his first. The team's second. Trying to save it on the wing is Young. He does. Key, a jump pass to Iguinness, partially blocked. Over the line and off of Mack.
I'm surprised Key didn't shoot that. I mean, he had a good look.
Inbounds pass caught by Ross. 11-5, the Cardinals on top again. They are 8-13 overall. Nimitz at 3-10. But these two teams combined, Rob, 1-11 in district. Ross to Harden, no opening there. Back to Ross, partially deflected on the three. Over the top, and the Vikings will get it back.
Well, they're getting some good looks. Just can't get it to fall.
Nimitz has lost 8 in a row. And the three-pointer off the rim by Sherman. 3:10 to go in the first quarter. Short, the three launched by Iniguez. Lead pass to DeJon Wilson. And Wilson able to score over Key.
Man, Key got some elevation there.
To Harden. Under 3 minutes. Iniguez with a three. That one not there. Saved underneath and put up and in by Maurice Young, the sophomore.
Position, that's the name of the game. Able to block off a couple of Vikings and get the putback.
The lead at 6. Key went for the steal. DeJon gets the extra step. In the corner as Sherman comes back to the middle. As a road team this year, Nimitz just 2-4. Eki saves it, draws the double team, turns, running out of the angle, misses. Key with a rebound. It's still loose. It's kicked. It's loose again. And over the line, off of MacArthur. And Coach Martin will put in Trey Mathis and Marcus Rigsby, the freshman.
What a pile of humanity there in the far corner. Somehow the ball ended up in the hands of Nimitz, but it went off one of the MAC players.
Vikings trying to keep it closer in the opening period, trailing by 6. Under 2 minutes. Nyron Collins gets rid of it. Long cross-court pass in the corner, now underneath, open, shot blocked by Harden. Put back in by Wilson, who got it and jarred loose of the ball off of Mack.
Jump ball call. Jump ball call, possession Nimitz.
Minute and a half remaining. Three-pointer in there as he drains it. Justin Sherman, who had 16 points in his last game, makes it a three-point contest. It's the radio-friendly 13-10 score. In the corner, Rigsby. Being shadowed by Collins. Slips down, lost it. Eki picks it up. And here come the Vikes. They could tie it up with a three. Underneath, Key got a piece of it. Harden gets all of it. And here's Trey Mathis. Almost walked with it. Under a minute to go. As Key slows it up in the middle. Carius Key, 6'2" junior. Had a dozen points his last game.
The last series, he was open on the wing. Of course, it was a weak side away from play. Waving his arms, sorry, John, waving his arms like, please give me the ball.
Each team with 2 fouls, and Mack off of the tip gets it back with 18 seconds left. Underneath, in a crowd, Harden, not there, 7 seconds. Wilson, front court, shooting with 4 and connecting is Nyron Collins. It's a 1-point game at the end of the first quarter, the first 8 minutes in the books. Our score, MacArthur 13, Nimitz 12. You're watching the ICTN District 7 6A Game of the Week. Underway here in the second quarter at Irving MacArthur High. It's a 1-point Cardinal lead as Carius Key has it to begin the second quarter. He's guarded by Dejon Wilson. Key drifting to the left hash mark. Stops, jump pass outside to Burris. Burris misses from 18. Underneath is Devin Johnson. Chance for the Vikings to take the lead. Again, 3-10 on the year, 0-6. In the district. Ecke forced out wide by Harden and takes him to the corner and draws the foul. Team foul number 3 assessed to the Cards.
See a lot of switching tonight where Ecke's up against Harden. It's got to be a mismatch. You know it is in size.
6'6" on 6'1". As they work it around the circle. That's Sherman, the senior. Sherman has a 3. Ecke on Harden. This is before the shot. It's on the floor. Team foul number 4 and a push. Non-shooting foul. And again, the Vikings will reset it. And nobody's on the ball. Pass caught by Johnson. Sherman on Burris. Wilson lets it fly, partially blocked, and contact underneath. Burris and Ecke tied up. It's on Ecke, team foul number 3 on the Vikings.
Looked like Ecke took a pretty tough shot to the knees as Burris went tumbling down. Doesn't seem to be favoring any legs, so sigh of relief for Nimitz fans.
Davion Daly here, his number 15 has just come on, the freshman. Added to the roster. Left side 3, put up and missed by Ross, but they get the rebound, and here's Ross right back to Key. Key around 1, around 2 off of the glass. And the miss, and again a chance for the Vikings to take the lead. Devin Johnson. Caught by Sherman. Kind of a scoring drought to begin this second quarter. Low scoring here in about 2 minutes time.
Really, John, both teams not really shooting that well in the entire game, actually.
The drive and the left-handed layup by Sherman, and the Vikings have the lead. P.J. Ross outside to Burris. Burris' fadeaway not there, and the putback to Carius Key with his 7th point.
You know, he wasn't really in good position to get the rebound. He just used his height to get the glass and put it back in.
Got a lead change here. Redbirds back on top. And here's Sherman. Sherman operating on Daly. Can't get around Daly. Works it back up top. Entry pass to Ecke. Ecke gives it up underneath and finds Dejon Wilson.
See, that's what makes Ecke so valuable, is when he gets the ball, you got 2 guys collapsing on him. That's going to free somebody up, and he found the open man.
Cardinals throw it away, and here come the Vikings right back, leading by 1. Yeah, that was a nice feed. Senior to sophomore on that last Viking basket. Sherman changes hands, drives, stops. Dejon Wilson from 20 and overshot it. Ecke there to catch it underneath. Destin Ecke, who had 22 in a loss a couple of weeks ago to Irving, gives his team a 3-point lead and another Cardinal turnover.
And in that game, he was 8 out of 10 from the free throw line. As a soft touch for a big man. He's got to earn everything. You know, poor Harden, it's either Harden or Iniquez both have to cover a guy that's much taller.
A 3-point cushion for the Vikings. 4:14 to go here in the half. Sherman left of the lane, stops, drives, and draws the foul. That is the team. That is the 15 foul. It is team foul number 5 and a 2-shotter for the 5'10 senior. And now the lead at 4. And Sherman's follow-up as good as the first.
Vikings making the free throws count. 3 out of 4 so far here in the early go.
A 5-point lead. Carry is key, goes deep, hits the front of the rim. Eki trying to save it and off of the 6'6 senior.
I think both Eki and Wilson both went after that loose ball, and when you get two guys going after the same thing, a lot of times you turn it over.
Nobody open, and Nicky Niguez having to take a timeout with 3:57 left here in the first half.
Last group of 5 for Coach Martin out there. He had like a freshman and 2 sophomores out there. So to say they're a young team, quite an understatement. For the Cardinals, down by 5 here. For Coach Donaldson, been a rough year for him. Thin bench as well. Really has just a core of about 7 guys, maybe 8 he can choose from to get out there and play. Leans heavily on his big man. But tonight, Sherman has stepped up, both Sherman and Wilson here in the first half, to equally contribute, and I think Donaldson will be happy with that.
Here's Key, right side 3, not there. Caught on the other side by Devin Johnson. And a chance for the Vikings to pad the lead here on top by 5. This series heavily one-sided in the favor of MacArthur over the last 7 or 8 years. Here's Eki, draws the double team, trying to find an opening underneath. Lost it, gets it back, and blocked from behind. Gets another chance. Key with another rejection. Couple of blocks for Carius Key, but the Vikings get it right back. Here's Eki off of the miss of Wilson.
Well, Key kept rejecting Eki's shots. Somehow Eki kept his composure and kicked it back out and ended up getting a putback anyway.
The lead at 7 with under 3 to go in the half. Carius Key, the junior, around Johnson, trying to get around Sherman. Gets it right side for PJ, who misses a 3. Run down by Mack. That one not there for Daly, trying to save it in the corner. On the run is Collins. 22-15, Vikings on top, 2:34 to go in the half. Maurice Young guarding Justin Sherman, and Joe Donaldson wants a timeout for his troops with 2:29 to go in the half.
Donaldson's got to be happy the way his team's playing defensively. I mean, we're at 2.5 minutes before intermission, and MacArthur's only scored 2 points in the second quarter. Chance for him to really bolster that lead, and I think he's pretty much smelling that, and that's why he called the timeout, trying to make the most of every possession to build on that lead. But Eki, every time Eki tries to touch the ball, there's a bunch of players around him, and Key blocked it once, blocked it twice, before Eki finally kicked it out. And that's pretty much the life of Destin. He's going to touch the ball 9 times out of 10. There's 2 guys around him. That game we did against Irving, they tried to give it to Eki down the stretch for that go-ahead shot. But man, he was like triple teamed. nothing he could do with it. He had to end up dishing off, and that's why it's so important for the Wilsons and the Shermans to pitch in and help carry the load. And when they do, I think they can win.
DeJohn Wilson in front of us will play it in for the Vikings. Looking for and getting it to Sherman. Sherman on key. A couple of number 5s there on the floor. Sherman goes low, gets it outside for the 3, taken and missed by Johnson. Off of whom underneath? Off of Mack. So the Vikings maintain possession.
I'm Ecke, and I'm going to put up a shot. I keep one eye out for number 5. Let's see where Keys is at.
Little flip underhand style to DeJohn Wilson right in the middle of the court. Sherman shut down by Ross. Under 2 minutes to go. Nimitz has outscored Mack 10-2 in this quarter.
Not a barn burner.
It was a couple of years ago. Here's Sherman, the lob feed to Ecke. Ecke puts it on the floor, muscles his way up over Key and Maurice Young.
And Aniquez. He had to go through 3 guys.
Team foul number 6. Ecke the line.
Inside, double teamed, triple teamed. Nice soft touch for a big man at the free throw line.
Connects on the first in the lead at 8. Add one more. Trey Mathis. Down low with Johnson. Ross, jump pass. Iniguez outside. 3-pointer on the way, and that one rims out, taken by Ross.
Second time that Keys got a good look at an offensive rebound.
1 minute to go here in the half.
Nimitz fortunate to get the ball back.
Ecke with a finger roll, and that one not there. Hit the side of the glass. In traffic is Key. Ross almost kicks it away, and contact on the baseline.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Key for MacArthur just one time just try to go end to end. He's a big guy. I'd hate to be trying to get in his way.
P.J. Ross at the free throw line, off with the glass and using all of it, and Ecke is shaken up.
Yeah, that's not good news for Nimitz. Grimacing a little bit. He's just going to try to walk it off. He spends a lot of time on the floor, if you notice. I mean, he's going after the ball. He's getting hit, pushed. He does hit the ground quite often.
The lead at 7. And a block on the wing. This one on P.J. Ross, number 4.
Let's see, watch Ecke here getting tied up with Young. This got tangled up a little bit. Boy, he went to grab the ankle right off the bat. You start worrying about it, and they're going to let him rest a little bit before the third quarter, and they're going to bring in Allen.
They lose nothing in height. Allen at 6'6". And a junior, and at the line, number 1, DeJohn Wilson. That last foul on the cards, team foul number 7. And no bonus. And off with the hand of Saul Allen.
Watching Ecke at the other end, just trying to stretch out the ankle. Went all the way to the door, stretched a little bit. Now he takes a seat on the end of the bench.
Ross. And on the side, no question, as Justin Sherman is hit with a foul. That is the 6th.
Just a little push, John.
Little nudge there on the wing. 15 seconds remaining. Trailing by 7. Key. Now Sherman comes over. Mathis underneath. A floater. And Trey Mathis, the sophomore, scoring the last bucket here in the first half. The Nimitz Vikings will take a 5-point lead into the locker room. At the break, it's Nimitz 24, MacArthur 19 on our ICTN Game of the Week.
Vikings outscore the Cardinals 12-6 in the second quarter, and they have a 5-point lead at the break, 24-19. First half highlights. You can't have a Nimitz highlight without an Ecke highlight, and that's Ecke inside for 2. Sherman had a good game. 3-pointer here helped keep him in check, and then a nice drive by old number 5. And good support for Ecke tonight for Nimitz. Meanwhile, for the Cardinals, it's Key. And Key hits the 3-pointer. And then later on a miss, it's Maurice Young for 2 with the putback. Kind of a theme, offensive rebounding and scoring for these Cardinals. Burris with the miss there, but there's Key with the 2-handed putback with the offensive rebound. And the scoring in the first half, we start with the Vikings. Ecke has 10, but again, pretty even support. Sherman, Wilson, Collins, your other scorers. And then Key was 7, Ross 5, Uniquez, Mathis, and Young also scoring for MacArthur. But right now, it's been Nimitz, and they're doing a good job, but we got to see whether the big man comes back out, because he hurt his ankle, John, late in that second quarter, and he's not there now.
First possession following the missed shot for the Cardinals in a crowd off of the glass is Key. Carry is Key. Cardinals raced out to a 6-point lead. They were caught at 14-13. It has been all Vikings since that point. Second possession, the drive, and the basket by Davian Hopkins, his first 2 of the game.
No one touched him.
Lead at 5. Open, Uniquez, short. Off the rim, caught on a bounce by Wilson. Front court, behind the back. And lost it. And Joe Donaldson to the bench.
Yep. Number 13 up and running. Keep an eye on him, kind of gingerly. There he is there, Ecke.
Mac won both of these games last year, 59-48 and 56-43. Run down with not much room to spare. Key.
Ironically, Martin lost the first 2 games he ever coached against Nimitz. Now he's won 10 straight against the Vikings.
Into Burris. Over Ecke, over the lid. Deflected to Harden as they get it back. Uniquez underneath. Misses. And Ecke has enough of that. Controlling the boards for the Vikings. Hopkins slows it up just a tad. Bounce pass to Sherman. Above the floor to Hopkins on the left side. 26-21 Vikings.
John, I think Donaldson will be happy with the slow tempo as long as he has the lead.
Trying to milk as much as he can. Johnson into Ecke. Turns, shoots, and misses. And up high with a rebound is Nicky Niguez. That's a circle back to get it. And taken away from the blind side. That was Sherman with a steal, and underneath the miss by Wilson, or Hopkins. Hopkins with a miss. And they got the steal, but unable to cash in.
You could see the grimace on Donaldson's face after those last 2 series offensively for Nimitz.
Nyron Collins off of the back of Key. Collins comes back out, almost walked with it, taken away by PJ. Ahead to Key. Nick. And in the corner. And the Vikings will get it back. Number 3, Trey Mathis, a sophomore, in for number 2, Nicky Niguez.
That's 3 series in a row for Nimitz. Either didn't get a good look or turned it over.
Lead still at 5. Sherman comes to a stop, feeds Ecke. Destin over Burris, no shot to Hopkins. Outside to Sherman. 3-pointer, not there. Burris in front of Ecke with a rebound.
Ecke's hobbling. He can hardly get up and down the court.
Now the Cards slow it up. Key. Hopkins back to Key. Trailing by 5. And Burris in and out with the 3. Shot out of there quickly. Hopkins underneath. In traffic. Stops, is bumped twice. On the floor. That's the first team foul here in the second half.
John, how much longer can they go with Ecke out there? He's telling the coach, I'm all right. But, I mean, he looks like an old man. He looks like me getting out of bed in the morning. Just barely can walk.
Not a full step. That first step's a little ginger. Here he is. Yeah, it's not there. Lost it. Here's Burris looking ahead. PJ Ross, baseline left with a 3. Not there. With a putback in midair is Harden. Harden underneath.
Left him all alone on the weak side. Nobody blocked out.
And the lead at 3. Outside for the 3, Devin Johnson, team 3-pointer number 2. And the lead at 6. Key underneath, right hand. Over the line, off of Mack.
Again, can't say how much the support staff, what I call the support staff, the other players around Ecke have been contributing tonight. Johnson, the latest there with the 3-pointer on that last trip down the court. To me, that's the big difference in the way these Vikings have been playing tonight.
I think you're right, Rob. Ecke it's almost if he's flat-footed. That first step just doesn't look right. Number 1 at a guard, Dejon Wilson back in.
Well, Allen, number 11, is his replacement, and every time I see a Viking get up off the bench, I look to see if it's Allen, but nope, not yet. Ecke's staying out there, and Burris isn't an easy guy to try to work around because he's a pretty physical center himself.
Ball grabbed by Wilson. Trey Mathis in front of him. There's Sherman. Back up top to Hopkins. 6 different Vikings accounting for the points. The drive may have been partially blocked, but Ecke misses underneath. Couple of chances there. Carius Key backing in, blocked, gets it back. The jump pass outside. And Mathis spreads it out to Daly. Under 3 minutes. They feed Burris. Backing in on Ecke. Turns, almost walked. I thought he did. And there's a foul in the paint.
Other end, when Key had that block, I was wondering if that was goaltending. It looked like
it was close.
Might have hit it on the way down off the backboard.
At the strike for a couple, Blake Burris, 6'5" sophomore. Cards just 1 of 2 in foul shooting in the first half. He becomes the 7th different Cardinal to score points as Blake Burris lines up the second free toss. And the lead at 4. Backcourt pressure. Sherman wants it. Front court wide open is Wilson. 2.5 remaining. It was 24-19. Vikings at the break. Devin Johnson to Ecke. Works it back deep to Davian Hopkins. Hopkins puts it on the floor, drives a lane, and it stays in. It almost came out.
One of those around-the-world shots.
The lead at 6. Key stops, and that one underneath.
One of the few times that the Vikings let that one get away. I mean, Ecke was right there for the rebound.
Tyson Harden to trigger it back in. Key underneath, scores over Wilson.
Yeah, that's a good matchup for MacArthur.
11 points for Carius Key. And the contact. That one will be assessed to Trey Mathis, team foul number 3. Myron Collins in for Dejon Wilson at a guard. 31-27, a 4-point lead. Sherman gets rid of it, feeds Devin Johnson. Separated from the ball and poked from behind by Mathis, who picks up his second.
You know, for a defender with 3 officials on the court, it's kind of hard to get away with those slaps. Try to knock it from behind. There's someone there looking at you.
Sherman will take it in. 9 points for the senior.
Lapse in the defense for MacArthur. 2 players both watched him just run past him.
Vikings lead by 6, winding down to the 1-minute mark. Burris, thinking about it, pulls the trigger and scores.
Pretty shot. Nicely done by the sophomore.
At mid-court, the contact. That's the 3rd foul on Mathis in a span of a minute and a half. Marquentin Barnes, number 13, a junior, replaces Trey Mathis.
And because of those flurries of fouls, it's like 4-1 now. 4 against the home team and only 1 against Nimitz.
With a half a minute to go. Ecke off the hip, short, hit the side of the rim. And the Cardinals with a chance here to score before the 3rd quarter comes to a close. 3-pointer, not there. Underneath, Ecke over the top of Burris. It was Daly that took the initial shot.
I think that might be against Johnson, number 22.
Well, you're right, Rod. That is his 3rd. Hit with his 3rd foul, and that puts Blake Burris at the line.
Yeah, there were arms around everyone.
And Ecke hobbles off the court. Well, the Cardinals could make it a 2-point game here.
Burris makes both of these free throws. This will be a very productive quarter.
There's half of it.
I mean, as well as playing very well defensively at the other end of the court, he's really been able to plug up the middle and make some noise offensively.
Well, he cans them both, the sophomore, and it is a 2-point game. With 5 seconds. Sherman trip, gets a shot off anyway, and count it. And a basket and one for the 5'10 senior.
At a blink of an eye, it could be a 3-point play, and it's one of those, how did that go in? Watch this as he follows it through, almost falling down.
And they do get the 3-point play. The lead at 5. Mid-court with a half a second as he hits the bottom of the glass, launched by Carius Key. We go to the 4th. The Vikings on top, 36-31. Cardinals will inbound at midcourt to begin this fourth and final quarter here in this district contest. Each team with a dozen points in that third period. Marquentin Barnes starting this fourth quarter for MacArthur. Baseline left, three-pointer missed by Burris. And Eki gets the rebound off with a tip from Myron Collins. Barnes closing in on Sherman, goes right side to Eki, forced out deep. Around the circle to Hopkins, underneath to Eki, who gingerly lays it up and in. And a timeout as Eki, after that basket, kind of limps to the bench.
Well, we got this timeout. I'm sure a lot of people have found out about former Cardinal guard Andrew Jones and his diagnosis as he's now battling leukemia. Andrew and his family need your support to help fight this battle to recovery. An official and family-approved website's been created. Donations can be made through this website, be given directly to the Jones family to help with medical expenses as permitted with the NCAA rules. There is the web address, hornraiser.utexas.edu/project/9014. Talked to Coach Martin before the ball game. Very optimistic, diagnosed it early enough, and we wish him the best in a very speedy recovery for Andrew.
As of a couple of weeks ago, they had raised over $25,000. Burris is fouled. And we'll head to the line. That foul is on Eki, his second.
That's not too bad with 7 minutes to go in the fourth. That's not too bad. But again, the play of Burris down the stretch.
Bumps the front on the first free toss. Vikings have led by as many as 9 here tonight. Hits the back half. And the lead at 6. The fouls, the Cardinals with 5. And the Vikings have been hit with 3 here in the second half. Sherman around Daly. Sends it outside for the 3. He bottoms it out. Does Devin Johnson, his second three-pointer. And we got a quick whistle here as the Cardinals try to bring it up court.
Yeah, Collins with a quick hack as the Cardinals are trying to push it up the court very quickly.
That's the fourth foul on the Vikings.
Almost even now in the team foul category.
This matches their biggest lead at 9. Caught Barnes on the side, sends it back in the middle to Key. One-handed pass to Burris. Turns, gets it up top, and all kinds of contact as Barnes left his feet.
That's a good call. Barnes called for the charge. That was almost like a karate kick. Watch this. Watch Johnson right. Oh, man, Johnson took a really hard hit in the lane. He earned that charge, let me tell you.
Jumped in to the defender, and that's a turnover. Gives it right back to the Vikings.
Yeah, 6th foul now, team foul for MacArthur.
In essence, it is a foul and a turnover. I mean, and Toby Martin indicating that this man was grabbed in the air. But that call will stay. And the lead stays at 9.
He's pleading his case on that charge.
And it comes at Sherman.
Toby's bringing out the barbs to the officials, isn't he?
and maybe the cost of a game.
Sherman's attitude finally cost him. Sherman's not shy about making some gestures like he did against Irving. Nothing negative, I mean, nasty or anything, but that last play, they didn't like the way he looked at the player after scoring the layup, and he got slapped with a technical foul.
And that puts number 4, P.J. Ross, at the line. The lead at 11. And the Cardinals will also get the ball.
Cardinals 6 out of 7 from the free throw line. 2 shot foul.
P.J. Ross, one of 4 sophomores. And the second one is in there. He sticks them both. And they get the ball across the way.
7 out of 8 from the line. And because of that technical foul, it was a kind of a wash after a good play and a good run by Sherman.
Trey Mathis. And he lets it fly. Wow.
That was Ross, wasn't it?
That was Ross, and we had Toby Martin ran into the official calling time after the basket. And that's Ross's second 3.
Yeah, that was just a catch look and chunk. A chunk and dunk, and it fell in. Look at it, just catch it and go. I mean, don't even square up. And I mean, it wasn't like it was a cheap one. It was swish all the way. And just like that, the Cardinals are down by just 6. With plenty of time to go, with 6 minutes left in this game. Toby Martin, 7th year, an assistant at the Colony. Took over from Stephen Hamrick. And the Cards have been in the playoffs in 5 previous seasons. Did not make it last year. Had that great golden year when he took the Cards to the state finals in 2014-2015. Heck of a team that year. Fun to watch them play. He's got a long way to go to replicate that team. He was just blessed with a lot of great players and size.
So the Vikings will have to go the length of the court. Davian Hopkins sends it in quickly to DeJohn Wilson. (43-37). From the left side, the miss by Johnson. Quickly, Massive misses a 3, and they throw it away. The rebound caught by Johnson, couldn't connect on the side with Nyron Collins.
So, John,
they want to put Sherman back in.
If you think about it, neither team has had a successful run this year. Neither team, and Nimitz just as well, at a point to where they can win a game. How are they going to handle that down the stretch?
Burris backing in on Eki, and almost over the line as soon as he caught it. Was a carry as key, but bumped in the process, and that is the 6th team foul. So each team now with 6. That 3rd on Eki.
Yep, still a couple to give. He's not in danger yet.
Well, lucky that Key got to that jump pass. Into Burris. Burris goes up. That looked like a pretty good block.
It did.
Man.
Johnson called for it, not Eki. Makeup foul for the charge earlier. No, he got him in the arm there.
That's a good look. Yep. You're right. That's a very good look. And that is a 4th on Devin Johnson.
Both teams in the bonus.
Blake Burris hits the first of 2.
Man, the guy has been money at the line.
And Burris hits the second. To Eki. Eki goes left hand after getting the feed from Hopkins. And that is the 7th on Mack, and it puts Destin Eki at the stripe.
This is only the second time in the second half that a Viking player has gone to the free throw line. Meanwhile, 10 times for Mac, including the 8 that Burris has gone to.
Scoreboard has 43-39, so the lead at 4. Eki gets a second. Looking for Harden, and through the legs of Ross, and then Ross goes back and holds Hopkins on his way up. And that'll put little Davian Hopkins at 5'7", and a senior averaging 6 points a game at the line. Vikings were 5 of 7 in free throw shooting the first half. And woefully short and wide left on the first. Pushes up the second. Missed them both, but grabbed in the lane by Collins, who lost it. Open ahead. The double pump up, and Hopkins will send Trey Mathis to the line.
Trey did a really good job that time of drawing the foul. When he went up for that jump shot, he kind of leaned into the defender, Hopkins. Got a good call from the official.
So each team now with 8 fouls. Trey Mathis, this is the first. And there is a 40th point for the Cards. 4:40 to play. Deep pass caught by Hopkins. Worked it to the middle, guarded by Harden. Hopkins around Harden, lets it fly, misses. Here's Burris. Ahead to Mathis, who feeds Blake. Back outside. P.J. Ross. Not there. Tip back to Mack. And Burris trying to accelerate away from Myron Collins, his foul, and Sherman.
I think that's on Johnson, isn't it? Maybe not.
Well,
yes, it is. That's his 5th foul. Johnson's out.
Johnson has fouled out. That is number 5. We were screened out by the coaches, and we were both looking around. Couldn't see anything.
Toby has a habit of getting into our line of vision.
So Devin Johnson is fouled out, and Blake Burris sinks the first. He has made a living tonight at the free throw stripe.
Hasn't he, though? And the thing is that last foul, he really was trying to make a move, and someone had gotten his way, and he couldn't make a pass, but he ended up drawing the foul.
Dips out. Nothing but navy blue underneath.
Sportscaster's jinx.
44-41. Sherman, and the contact is number 3. Mathis slid over, but Sherman called with a foul. Will not result in a one-on-one at the other end.
Lost a little control as he was trying to drive the lane.
So the Cards down by 3. Burris thinking about it, does a 360, lets it fly.
And Eki draws the charge. in the lane, tries to do a little 180, and there's Eki right in his way. And we've got a full timeout at the 3:44 mark.
Eki's still not at full strength.
Yeah, but I guess subpar Eki's better than a no Eki, particularly the way that Burris has played underneath tonight. You know, the guy didn't score a point in the first half. He's been at the free throw line over 10 times in the second, but it's some of the stuff you don't see. It's how well he's been really able to, I don't want to say get under the skin of Eki, but to really just make Eki work for everything he can offensively, and then at the other end of the court draw the foul and go to the free throw line on double-digit occasions. Both teams in the bonus. In fact, MacArthur in the double. MacArthur has watched one player for Nimitz already foul out, and that was Johnson, who had 2 3-pointers tonight.
Well, Burris and Key have 21 of the team's 41 points. Justin Sherman has 14 for the Vikings, and Eki has 13. As they bring him back to play, it'll be Nimitz's possession. Hopkins to inbound. Tyson Harden on the ball. Sherman, front court with Key. Gets it right side. Right on the line, it'll be a 2. Lead back at 5. Behind the back, Ross is bumped by Sherman. Got him on the hip.
That's his
and now
fourth
the
foul.
double bonus.
And that's his 4th foul. Difference in the Vikings tonight and what we've seen in the past, they're getting the jump shots to fall. That last series was an example of it.
P.J. Ross hits the first of 2. And the sophomore sends up the second and connects. It's a 3-point game. Taken away by Tyson Harden, who got in front of Wilson. Harden with a steal in the bucket, 46-45. Dejon Wilson on the right side. Back in the middle of Sherman.
Brought the
Devin
crowd to
Johnson
life,
is
John.
fouled out.
Getting the student section involved. It's the loudest I've heard them tonight.
Sherman. Now forced deep by Mathis, who circles back, gets the steal, and is fouled. It has turned completely around here in the 4th quarter.
I don't know if the tempo, slowing things down, is working against Nimitz or not, but a nice pick job by Trey Mathis. Sherman will take a seat, and Coach Donaldson's son, Terrence Donaldson, comes out. First time we've seen him in 2 weeks on ICTN. And boy, he comes out at a time with 2 minutes to go, and his team currently up by 1, but that could change with a couple of free throws by Mathis.
Chance for Mac to take the lead. 9-point lead has disappeared. Mathis for the follow-up, and this for the lead. Caught underneath by Wilson. And then at the top of the key, Wilson, and P.J. Ross collide.
Ross called with a foul, and with just over 2 minutes to go in the game, they've been calling him close all night, John. We're going to see the free throw line, I think, quite often down the stretch.
Off the glass, Deshaun Wilson, the sophomore, hits the first. At the moment, a 1-point lead. Spins the second one through. Two minutes to play. Mathis to Key. Carrier spins, splits up the shot, and will have to earn these two at the line.
It's against Collins, not Eki. Key going to the offensive. 3 Vikings surround him. He's a strong player.
11 points for the junior, coming off a 12-point game in the loss to Duncanville earlier this week.
Yeah, that was only his first free throw attempt all night.
And the lead at 1. Hopkins across half court. Finds Eki. What a pass.
Oh, indeed. Man, he had to thread the needle. Then Eki had to catch it and produce.
Jarred loose of the ball as Wilson comes from behind and will put the Cards at the line.
Driving Coach Donaldson crazy. The kids, you want them to play good defense, but not too tight. And I think that's his point. He's trying to tell the guys, quit trying to make those moves. They're going to call you every time.
And Trey hits the first. A minute 33 to go. .50-48 it stays. Eki there to snatch it. Nimitz looking for its first district win. Coming off of a loss to DeSoto. Eki somehow ends up with it. Burris thought he tied him up. Oh, it's a travel on Eki. Eki hit for steps.
Boy, you could hear a pin drop during that seconds before the official made the call.
A 3 would give the Cards the lead, and Carius Key misses the baseline layup. Eki surrounded, has to get rid of it. He does, or did they call a timeout?
Timeout.
Coach Joe Donaldson taking a timeout with 58 seconds to play. It'll be the Vikings with the ball.
John, at this point, the difference in the second half, free throws. MacArthur's been to the line 22 times just in the second half, and they've made 16 of those, thanks in part to Burris, who's only missed 2. On the flip side of all of that, Joel Donaldson and his Vikings have only been to the line 5 times. Made 4 out of 5, but a difference of 17 attempts. And that'll get you back in the ball game in a hurry if you can make them, and they have.
Cards were just 1 of 2 in foul shooting the first half.
So your Nimitz, you're up by a bucket. 58 seconds to go. That youngster's just having a drink and enjoying life, while both coaches are probably wound up tight as a drum. I don't think that Nimitz necessarily has had a lot of trouble getting the ball across the timeline. It's just they seem to kind of change the pace up a little bit, and sometimes that's come back to backfire them. But the last 2 trips down, I've seen what they've been trying to do. They've been trying to get the guards to penetrate and then dish off to Ecke. Will they do it again?
They'll have it at side court. Dejon Wilson to inbound. Donaldson's in the game, number 20. Terrence Donaldson for the Vikings. And then at midcourt, PJ wraps up Dejon Wilson. That is his fourth.
Didn't see Coach Martin get upset about it, so maybe that was part of it. Foul early. Force them to make the free throws and get the ball back.
Dejon Wilson, 5'9" sophomore, came in averaging 7 points, shooting for point number 8 tonight.
Wow.
Straight up and then straight down.
You know, the first 2 of this half he shot at the line were also eventful shots.
Here's the second. And the lead at 4. Cardinals trailing by 4. Carius Key, front court. Left of the lane and shoots and is pushed in the process.
Donaldson with the foul.
Foul is going to be on Terrence Donaldson, who just came on, number 20, his first. And Carius Key with 2 chances. And is to make it a 2-point contest. We'll follow the flight all the way. Timeout after the second successful free throw. Toby Martin taking the timeout here with 47 seconds.
Quick 30-second timeout. Donaldson only has 1 left on the board. Timeout, 2 for Toby. So the pressure goes back to Nimitz. And it's whether or not, you know, they're going to take their time. They're going to try to run as much time off the clock as they can. If you're Toby, do you do like you did last time and foul him quick so you can get the ball back and have time to work with?
Nimitz's last win against Mac came in the 2011-2012 season. They beat him twice that year. The last victories for the Vikings over the Cardinals. That came down to the wire, 55-51. So a chance to snap an 8-game losing streak. They have the lead and the leather. Dejon Wilson to play it in.
With 47 seconds to go, you know how that is. That's about 3 or 4 possessions.
Trying to break free and is grabbed by Carius Key. It's a foul fest here in the last minute and a half.
I think that answers our question, doesn't it, on how Coach Martin wanted to handle this, and that is foul in a hurry and put the pressure on Nimitz.
He pumps in the first, does the sophomore, in the lead at 3. And the second could make it a 2-possession lead. Perfect. He's made his last 6. Under 40 seconds. Key in midair, misses, almost tipped in. There's another chance. Harden, and ending up with it is Devin Hopkins. And Hopkins wrapped up like a mummy with 25 seconds to play.
Boy, talk about a fight for the rebound after that miss by Key. I counted at least 4, I think, different players touched the basketball before Hopkins, probably one of the shortest amongst those trying to get the rebound, comes up with it. Watch the Key with this missed shot. There's 1 tip, 2 tip, 3, 4, 5.
Foul was charged to number 1, Tyson Harden. The lead stays at 4. And Hopkins will take aim here on the second. Two misfires. But it's still a 2-possession game. Carius Key goes up, is challenged on the way up. And having a seat is number 3, Myron Collins.
So Carius goes from one end to the other. So I've noticed a trend here the last 2 or 3 possessions. Have Key go all the way offensively and then foul as fast as you can defensively if you're MacArthur.
There's point number 15 for the junior. If he makes it, they quickly have to go on defense. He does. Well, not that quick. 30-second timeout taken by the Vikings.
Was it the Vikings or MacArthur? Which one took it? Vikings? If so, that's their last timeout. So, yes, indeed. No timeouts left for Donaldson. 1 timeout left for Martin. And for Donaldson, I think his point is he's noticing that the last 2 or 3 times down that MacArthur fouls almost immediately whoever touches the basketball. So do you get it to your best free throw shooter from the onset, hoping that that's the one they foul, so you improve your chances at the other end. Hopkins had 2 good looks at the free throw line his last time, but unfortunately they both fell.
Dejon Wilson to play it in. They get it right back to him. 16 seconds. Wilson and the reach around by Carius Key. That is his 4th foul. And you're right, Mr. Willman. It sends Dejon Wilson at the line. He has made the last 6. Wilson and Justin Sherman have just shot lights out from the charity stripe tonight. They have filled it up. Add to the total. And that one's huge.
Very. I mean, at least it gets it to a point to where the worst that could happen is a tie, a 3-pointer. This one here, though, really tighten the screws.
And this to make it a 4-point game. Would it be enough to seal the win?
Boy, clutch shooting by Wilson down the stretch.
With 9 seconds. Key touches it over and back, and that'll do it. Nimitz is going to snap an 8-game losing streak tonight and pick up their first district win.
You're calling it now.
I am putting in the safety call, and it will stand. Here is Hopkins, and that will do it. The Nimitz Vikings knock off the Cardinals here at home, 56-52. Dejon Wilson clutch shooting from the free throw line down the stretch as they hold off a charge by Mack here in the 4th quarter. 56-52. Rob Williman will have an interview with head coach Joe Donaldson. We'll have highlights and stats as we wrap it up here at Mack. 56-52 as the Vikings win it tonight. John Nelson back with Rob Willman here at Irving MacArthur. The Vikings snap an 8-game losing streak and collect their first district win of the year, knocking off the Cards 56-52. Rob Willman with head coach Joe Donaldson.
All right, John, thank you very much. Well, Coach, hey, you got to win. Doesn't matter how you get it. It's got to feel good.
Kids played great. It does feel good. It's kind of overdue. Our kids have been really playing hard. Defensively, we stepped it up tonight. I was real proud of our younger players tonight, and you know, Coach Martin always has his kids ready to play, so it's a great win for us tonight in the district.
You know, you always count on Eki to get his points, but you need that support staff to help, and I think tonight you got it.
Yes, and we talked about that. We said, you know, he can't be the guy that does all the scoring, but, you know, he does other things too. He rebounded really well for us, and I think the defensive end really won it for us. We really got out on the shooters. They shoot the ball really well. We got out on the shooters. We were disciplined when we needed to be, and we made some big free throws down the stretch, so it was great.
And that was going to be my next point, is that you did get the free throws when you needed them. Some clutch shots. He did miss a one in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Dejon Wilson's a sophomore. He's only a sophomore, and we're looking forward to him playing the next 2 years. He stepped up real big, got injured there a little bit, and we just told him to toughen up, and he made some big shots. So we're proud of him.
Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
All right, a big win for Coach Donaldson and the Vikings. Back to you, John.
All right, Rob, appreciate it very much. A 41-point outburst here in the final 8 minutes from these two teams. It was nip and tuck down the stretch. Mac outscored Nimitz 21-20 in that fourth quarter, but they end up losing by 4. Let's take a look at some of the second half highlights for the Nimitz Vikings. Here's the Destin Eki put back following the missed shot underneath. And then the three on the left wing by Devin Johnson. Johnson finished with 6 points, a couple of threes, and the drive underneath by Justin Sherman. That's 2 of his 14 points. For the Redbirds, here's the attempt and the miss by Ross, but in position, Tyson Harden underneath. Harden finished with 4 points. In the corner, P.J. Ross sinking 1 of his 2 threes. And then we'll round it out here with a soft touch over Eki by Blake Burris. Nice stroke here by the 6'5 sophomore who finished with 10 points. Scoring-wise, for the victorious Vikings, Destin Eki finished with 15. Sherman added 14. Dejon Wilson chipped in 13. The next tie, Devin Johnson with a couple of three-pointers. For the MacArthur Cardinals tonight, Carius Key ended up with 16. P.J. Ross added 12. Blake Burris had 10. Trey Mathis next tie with 5. Cardinals fall to 1-6 in the district. 8-14 overall. Nimitz picks up win number 4 on the year, but more importantly, a district win tonight and their first win over the Cardinals since 2012. It has been that long since the Vikings have tasted victory over Mac, but they come away tonight winning by 4. Our thanks to both head coaches, our outstanding ICTN production crew. For Rob Willman, once again our final score, Nimitz 56, MacArthur 52. This is John Nelson saying so long from Irving, MacArthur.